Church, this morning, I hope you're ready for a real treat. We have Pastor Joshua with Fishers of Men Ministries with us this morning. He has two schools in Kenya, one on the west side of Kenya and one on the east side of Kenya. And we actually have been, Pastor Joshua and I were just talking this morning, I think we've partnered with Fishers of Men for 5 years now. And here's the cool thing. It started with our children partnering with Fishers of Men. And, we talk a lot about that's our next generation, but that's not really our this generation. And so how we got connected with Pastor Joshua years and years ago, I believe that the Williams, Dale and Sue Williams, actually had a connection with you first, is that right? And hosted you and have been in great connection with you for decades now. But a few years ago, 5 years ago, Pastor Joshua reached out, and our Alive program, so our Wednesday night kids program, started raising money so that the one school could buy chickens. And those kids got so excited about the thought of buying these little chickens for the school, and they taught the kids how to raise the chickens, and they built coops, and so they would send photos. And so 2 years, I believe, we did chickens, and then we did bunnies for a year, and then we moved to building a basketball court for one of the schools. And so I'm going to let Pastor Joshua tell you how it's taken off from there, but you know that here at Kotad, we believe in not just ministering to our church, but to our community, locally and globally. And Pastor Joshua represents part of our global community. And so he is going to come and talk today and share some stories. They do have, if you're interested in partnering with them, again, Pastor Joshua is going to give you this opportunity, but just as your shepherd, I want to encourage you to feel free to stop in the breezeway. You can sponsor children, and I don't want to give away all the testimonies, but you're going to hear about somebody that has sponsored a child from preschool all the way to now having been through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and now has a career. And so that's what I mean by we aren't just committed to this community, but a global community. So I'm going to start this morning by reading the scripture that I think we're going to throw up. And if you want to give today to Pastor Joshua, of course, you can do your normal tithes and offerings, but you can also give to Fishers of Men Ministries, and we'll make sure that Pastor Joshua gets that at the end of service. He's going to tell you a little bit more about how to make that happen as well. But as we start today, let's start with this word. It comes from Romans 8:28, and it says this, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." And you're going to hear today a variety of ways that his purpose looks like. Because for some of us, Pastor Jim would tell you, he is a giver, but he is not a goer, right? And so for all of us, we can have a part because he has a purpose and a plan for all of us. So Pastor Joshua, would you come at this time as we dive into the word and we get to know you just better and connect with you. I will tell you, hold this really close to your mouth.
Yeah, sometimes I forget to bring the mic close to me when I get excited. But I am excited to be here today to come and share with you about what God is doing. And before I go to the word, I just want to introduce my wife. And can you stand, please? And my son, too, our young man right there. Josiah is the one who works now at the office doing all the books and, takes care of, everything at the office. He says he's going, his desires to take over. I don't know how long it will take him before taking over because I don't know whether I'm ready for that. But we have another son, Alex, who is 32. But he's not here with us. Thank you for standing. I know In Kenya, we have all the time. You can talk for 5 hours, and people will be still sitting down. But I know we have limited time, and we have a lot to do today. When you look at that, the verse that we just had, that's what I'm going to start with. Can you put the verse back again? The verse that we just had for Fisher, the God works for good. You know, I want to read it again. It says I have amplified. It said, and we know with great confidence that God, who is deeply concerned about us, causes all things to work together as a plan for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. Today I want, as we share all what God has done, I looked at it and I was looking at, what to say, but God brought this very common verse. And I looked at, the way people read it and they leave the last part. And I looked at God, people saying, everything works for good, but they leave it there. But I looked at the last part that says, to those who are called according to his plan or his purpose. And I looked back at fishers of men. Almost November 15 this year is going to be 30 years ago since I started the ministry. For 30 years, before then, we had nothing when we were starting the ministry. But God knew his purpose and knew he caught somebody from here because he had a purpose. He has a purpose for all of you. And sometimes when we are passing through, when we are in the ministry and we pass through some things, we don't see that there is a waiting, but God has a purpose. So to those who are called according to his purpose, Christians, God, when he calls you, he has a purpose for you. 1997, it started, I was in Kenya. We did not have, all this what you're saying. We did not have that. We had some churches. But God sent somebody from here, Sue Williams. She came all the way to Kenya. And then later, because of the purpose that God had, they were able to bring me here. 1999. And that's how God's purpose has been. And I'm not going to go on deep into how the Lord has connected people because he has a purpose for you. But later, couple years ago, just because when the Lord was following all what he has called us to do, he connected us to this church. And because of his purpose and because of the people being called. Back there, 1999, I met a friend who has been actually one of the longest friends that I've had, Gary, right here. We have worked together. He bought me my first ice cream cone. And because I did not know what it was. But, he's the one who took me, I think, Galena or somewhere. I don't know where it was. In 1999, it was very cold. And he was buying ice cream for me. But with that, God has called us and he has used children. Children, the alive children here, they are the ones who have waken up this call, his purpose that the church now is pursuing. And I came and talked to them. They were so pumped up about the chicken. We bought a lot of chicken, and I was asked a lot of questions. And, with that, we went and we did the bunnies, and then we did the basketball. And they are the founders of basketball in Eastern Kenya, where now it has become, a sport in all the schools. This week they were competing, but they did not know what it was until the children here introduced basketball in Kenya. So God has a purpose, and He can use even the children to be able to do His purpose. When you look at that, God, in 1994, we started the ministry. Our offices are in Davenport, but all the work is in Kenya. We have 3 schools, and the school is, the 2 schools and also the vocational training. And then 1 medical clinic, 1 orphanage in Western Kenya, and 20 water wells, and 11 churches. So as we go real quick, I want to go to the next one, and then I'm going to, those are the wells that we have done, and that's how people get the water. But now we have started digging, and the Rotary Club in Davenport, they just approved 3 water wells, to be deep water wells. They are funding it to be done, so that we are partnering with them so that we can be able to reach more people. Next one, that's one of the wells. My wife, we did that when I was with my wife and my son last year, and then that water just gushed out and made us to run. What is next? Those are the schools. Now, today I want to the way I want us to do today is, we just went to Kenya last in January and February with our friends, and I know from there they were involved, and I want us to be able to give you an account or a report about what the Lord did through all our missionaries who were there. Your children that you are supporting, they were able to hold them, and be able to meet them, spend time with them. And so can I have our missionaries please come, so that we can show the purpose. One thing as they come, Sharon, when we connected, God was able to bring this purpose, and she grasped it. She ran with it. And there are, like the girls. She's the one who I taught about a story. And we had 26 girls graduating when we were there. Graduating from the streets, having 2 years of, training, sewing, and just being able to now go to when we were there, they were saying, I'm graduated, I've started my business. We counted businesses that are being done, and it is somebody from here who has, sponsored that girl from the street, from being a prostitute to coming and being cleaned. And they love the Lord now, because for 2 years they are in church. So all those, you are going to see pictures. Those are the 2 schools, the Western Kenya and the Eastern Kenya. But from there, I want us to go to the next slide, and I will. What's the next slide? Okay, from there now, I would like to have Gary. Gary, this was a time that you went there. You went back there a couple years ago, 4 years ago, and then you went back. Why did you go back this time?
I went back to see Davis graduate from college, and that is the end photograph over there of him graduating. and I've had him since he was 5 years old. So he went to elementary school, junior high, high school, and then to college to change his life. Not only to change his life, but to change generations because of the education he got, the Christian education. He will be able to support a family and send them to get a Christian education.
And Davis, the first picture, that's him in the middle. He is now working with the Kenya Power and Lighting Company. And they have sponsored all the way from 5 years up to where he is. And he just called me last week and said, I got a job now. And so that's really, a transformation of a boy who was in the village where they don't even own the land that they have. He came and wired the whole school, did the rewiring of our school, because now he is qualified to do, to work with electricity. And and you see that, the picture in the middle, do you see that beautiful lady right there? That African lady. So that's, let's go to the next picture. And that's the same picture, but now all those who are 16 of all those who graduated, and look at John right there on the other side, they left their top ones. But that's all those. And let's go to the next one. Those are the degrees. You might think that it was just either a community college or something, but you see, bachelors of journalism in mass communication, civil engineering, and all that. Those are kids that we have had all the way, and they have gotten degrees. Now, these, as they start working, then we have really, that's changing. That's how a ministry and the sponsors can change the lives of many. And you have really, you are being involved. If you are sponsoring, that's what you are going to get. Your children are going to go all the way. The head teacher of the school that your children are is one of our kids that we started with from 3 years. And now he is the head teacher of the school. They met him. So next one. Those are the children, but from there, I want to invite, Sharon to be able to tell us from the next screen. So this one, I think this is a video, right? The one in the middle, is it a video? Yes. Can you play that for us? Oh, no sound. Can you start it again, please? So when we went, one of the things, stop it a little bit. When we went, these are 250 children. And we did not, and then they are all in uniforms. And John had seen pictures of the child that she sponsors. And then I go there and I tell her, now go and to show us which one is your child. And that's going to just to pick the child. Let's play that. So what can you tell us about it?
My heart just went bonkers. My biggest fear before I went there was that I would not be able to pick out my child. And I did not want to hurt her by not knowing which one she was. But when I got there, there was no doubt about it. And I spied her right away. And she walked in, and she was trying to walk with the like she was supposed to but her eye was going. And I was eyeballing her and winking at her too. But when I went over there and I got to pick her up and hug her, oh my gosh, I don't know how to put it into words. It was just the neatest experience to see the child that you sponsor. You know, I really get to make a difference in her world. And I hope you all can experience that. There's nothing like that. We have our own children and we support our own children, but when you're over there, you really get to see how much an impact you're making with just, you know, sending money every month. And but this time I got to love her in person. And that doesn't happen very often when you're doing charity work of any sort. I don't know how else to say it. It was awesome.
That's an experience of somebody who, you know, and that's our children. After that, she spent the whole, you know, time together. We don't go there to see what they are talking about because our children are real. When you sponsor a child through Fishers of Men, you can go there to experience everything with them and love them and, you know, and see them. What's the next? Okay, that's just for now.
That's rude.
Yeah. So now, you know, we will go to Sharon. Now, that's where, you know, your other videos are there too.
This is Blessing, and she's going to talk. Doesn't she talk on this one, Michael? I think she does.
Yeah.
So,
Can you do that? Okay, it's going.
My name is Blessing Mudemalik. I am in grade 6 lab. My sponsor is called Stephen McFarland.
And what would you like to be when you grow up?
When I grow up, I would like to be a teacher for teaching pupils.
Oh, that's great. Is there anything else you'd like to say to your sponsor?
May God bless you.
Thank you.
And the sponsor is here, right? Amen. Yeah, right there. So the other videos. Okay.
Go.
My name is Joshua Ngao. I am grade 7. My sponsor is Dana Wolf. Thank you for sponsoring me.
Okay.
My name is Lilian Mwende. I am a grade 2. My name's sponsor is D. and Michelle Pink.
Dina Michelle, this is yours. Little Lillian. Say God bless you.
My name is Michael 7. My sponsor is Zebra and Steve.
Sandholt. And what grade are you in? What class?
Two.
2. Okay.
My name is Sinema Mwenda Munanya. I am grade 4. My sponsor is Ngeri and Sharon Waters. My name is Esther Musinyam Says. I am in grade 5. My sponsor is Sharon Rad Waters. Thank you for sponsoring me. God bless you. My name is Graham Lajar. I am in grade 2. I am in grade 3. My sponsor is Ella Ondoman.
Yeah. Say
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Samatlas Karamangi. I am in grade 3. My sponsor is called Janine Naif. God bless you. Thank you for sponsoring me. I will pray for you all the time. Thank you. My name is Elder Jacob Kimanzi. I am in grade 6. My sponsor is called J. Pandan Parish. God bless you all the time. I love you.
Thank you.
My name is Freddy Mandaman. I am in grade 4. My sponsor is Jim and Lisa Machen. I love you. God bless you. Thank you. My name is Ruth Megal Musim. I am in grade 4. My sponsor is Joanne Nelson. I love my sponsor. Thank you. My name is Dennis Kialamandra. My sponsor is John. I am in grade 3. My sponsor is John and Melvin. I love you. God bless you. My name is Veronica Mandagamas. I am in grade 1. My sponsor is Kyle Randy. I love you. God bless you. My name is Peter Zalgar. I am in grade 4. My sponsor is Kevin and Cheryl. I'm good. I love you. God bless you for your good work. My name is Grace Mutibwanda. I am in grade 4. My sponsor is Joseph Desar Kirina. My name is Faith Mandaklan. I am in grade 6. My sponsor is Scott Kut and Jill Mika Senga. God bless you for your good work. Thank you. Sophia Gayome Bundi. I am PP2. My sponsor is
Lexus Rosebloom.
My name is Dave Murandemana. I am grade 1. My sponsor is Marian Kof. My name is Yunis Kalimjala. I am in grade 3. My sponsor is Sifin and Melania Shafa. I love you. God bless you. My names are Blessing Mudewandika. I am a grade 5 learner. My sponsor is called Stephen McFarland. When I grow up, I would like to be a teacher. Thank you for sponsoring me. May God bless you. Thank you. My name is Raja Magaskilanzo. I am in grade 6. My sponsor is Janela Ba. When I grow up, I would like to be a doctor. God bless you for sponsoring me. Thank you. My name is Nara Makalikalaza. I am grade 3. My sponsor is Dana G. Manuel.
So Sharon,
Yes.
so can you say, when we went there, Sharon had like a whole day talking to the kids, enjoying them, doing all the videos that you have seen, and just for just being able to, without being interrupted. I gave her all the children. They went to the field. They spent all the time. Can you tell the sponsors about their children and the school, and just
share whatever I want to share.
yeah.
Well, it's quite a treat. These kids are really well taken care of, and they're happy. That's the neatest thing, is they are happy in their surroundings. They're happy, and they're thrilled they have sponsors. You have no idea. You just really have no idea. It's just such a blessing to be able to come and to see these kids and to see how their life is being changed because of you. Because of you. You are changing a life. And that life goes on just like Davis's. And now he's able to help support his family and move on. It's an experience that I don't know anything like it here in America. I thank you, Pastor Joshua, for obeying. Obedience is the highest gift. Thank you. Thank you for obeying the Lord. Thank you for what you've started. I know it's way beyond what you even thought, but that's what God does when he takes something so small and he turns it around. And when Joan met Ruth, we were all starstruck. We were all starstruck because it so changes that child's life. And not only her life, but all those that will come from her. And, we can look at it so many different ways. We can justify it. We can do all kinds of stuff. But you know what? It's God. It's all him. He takes what little we have, and he takes and he multiplies it. He changes it, and he makes it into something more than we could even imagine. This is the Sunday that we had Espy here, and she said, these are children. How was that? She said that. Huh? the generation you'll never meet. That's what we're doing. Some of you will never meet your child, but you are making such a difference. You really are. And it is a generation that is going to take this world by storm. And through a Little Alive program, it began with chickens. Chickens. Who has chickens here? I would if I could. Nobody has. Who has chickens here? Okay, chickens. And one became 1,000. And then it was chickens again. And then it was bunnies. They didn't know it was going to be bunny nuggets, but it's okay.
When we did the bunnies, so the kids asked me, what are you going to do with the bunnies? You are not going to eat them, right? But they were right. That's what we were to do, to eat the bunnies. But they did not want them to be eaten. They said, you are not going to do that, right?
This ministry really operates. Pastor Joshua's money, his salary is paid for by a businessman from DeWitt. So he makes zero from any of this. And I'm going to say that because you wouldn't say that. 100% of your money goes to that child. 100%. And it's so filled with integrity and honesty and uprightness. And these kids, you're surrounded by, guys, it's dirt floors, cow dung on the roofs, no running water, no electricity. It's beyond what you can even wrap your head around. It just is amazing. Whether you've done sponsorship for 6 months or a year, or you're still doing it, it's all greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
And then now, so that shows you that all the children that you sponsor, they are not just a number, they are not just a name. I have seen, sometimes somebody wanting to go to a country to see their child, and they are taught to give 6 months so that they can look for where the child is. Our children are in our school, in a Christian school. We pay the teachers, we pay the cooks so that they can eat well, and we know where they are every day. So your child is in our own school. We don't have in public schools. We have in our own schools. So that's how, and when you go there, you meet all of them, and we pray with them every morning. Kenya is I know people say still America is a Christian country, but in Kenya, Christian religious education is compulsory in all the schools. Every school, before they go in what we call parade, they stand, before they go to class, and they pray together. And we tell every child to take out their sponsors as picture as they pray. They pray for you every morning, and they carry your picture. That's why we say when you write, put some pictures inside there, because your child carries that picture. You become part of them. When those who are total orphans, they tell people, don't call me an orphan anymore. I have a parent in the U.S. who loves me because orphans don't go to school. They say, I go to school because I have a parent who loves me. That's how these children have refused to be called orphans anymore, because of you, because of your love. So that's part of the children. And 5 years ago, or 4, I don't know how long, we went to Kenya. When Gary and Sharon went to Kenya, that's when I shared with them about the girls. Those who were really suffering, to a way of almost being slaves, so to people who just, being paid $10 a month, but sometimes not getting it. And working from, 4 in the morning to warm water for people to take a shower to, everybody goes to bed. And, and then we said, let's try to rescue them. And first, I will start with the first video that those are when we arrived. And they were blocking Sharon there, and they gave her a name. What's your name, Sharon?
Mute.
Mute. So she was named by the school and the girls, and that's her name now in Kenya, Mute. But she was there. I wish we could have seen some moves, but let's see, it moves right there.
Yeah. On my little experience here with the girls, of course, they're all teenage girls, and they're very shy and very timid. And I found one out of 20 that spoke English, so I was able to talk through her, because the rest of them speak Swahili. And so they were just kind of, all nervous and all this. So I tried to break the ice with them, and here's what happened.
Is it backwards? Yeah, because we want to see them. This side move more.
I gotta hold it?
You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it. It's not wide enough.
It can don't turn, right?
Oh, I gotta sing.
It was too small. And he's trying to do what they were doing, and you saw the way they were dancing.
He's getting into it.
More about it.
Tell them I can't hear them. They gotta sing louder. Tell them I can't hear them. They gotta sing
Go
louder.
to the next one. Then the other one is to the next slide. So those are the, you can see Sharon there, dressed as a professor for the graduation, just there, seated there, and that's they are graduating the 26 vocational girls. And let's go to the next one. The whole city came to see, because this is something they had never envisioned, that those girls who were there, they can become anything. They were almost, one of them came to a class when we got with the, torn, the clothes were, I sent you the pictures, and she completely, almost like without clothes.
Yeah.
And she was one of the graduates. And now she has started her own school, our own business. So those are all the girls, 26 of them, and these are them in class. And Sharon is seated right there in class with them. They sat down and tried to, what's the next? Okay, now before we go to that, what did you think about the girls?
The sewing girls were, I find it amazing. You could see there was a new class that just was starting, and they had been there, about 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. They were there, and then the girls that were in the class and were soon one more year, and then they would be done with training. And the transformation, you could just see that these girls had hope. And they had purpose now. And the girls in the back were still kind of, because they really were so new, they didn't really know what was going on yet. But you could actually see the difference in the girls and what this training and the education and the opportunity had done for them. And on the way out, I had one of the girls hug me, pick me to be her sponsor. How cool is that? So that was cool. But they are amazing. They sit there and they were showing me some things about sewing. I've never worked with a treadle machine. My mom had a black one, but not a treadle. And there's a knack to it. But I'm not a good speaker. I'll pass it on.
So can you,
Yeah, here.
what can you say about those girls that the vision when it came, you took it over with it?
It was very interesting. The day that Gary was on the other side, and Pastor Joshua was in the middle, I'll never forget it, and I was on this side. And he said, Pastor Joshua said, I have a vision of starting a vocational school, a sewing school. And it was just that quick, that quick. The Lord said, you can help do that. And I went, oh, really? You know, and we started with 8 girls and 2 machines. And here we are, 20-some machines, 20-some graduates, and now the second class coming along. And these girls have been rescued from, as he said, and I can't say it enough times, prostitution or slavery. They are street girls. They are street girls. And they look like street girls when they come in. Their clothes are ragged, torn, their hair's all disheveled. They look like it. But here we are 2 years down the road, and we see the young women confident, capable, with their head up and their shoulders up. And you see what God has done in their lives. They've been transformed. That's what God does through missionaries, through people, is transformation. That's what he does in our life, transforms us. We're not the same today that we were yesterday. And I have a note, and you guys have heard this before, but I'm going to share it again, okay? This is from Eliza. This is a girl that Gary and I sponsor in the sewing school who graduated. She says, thank you for sponsoring me with my education. I am growing well in my future life. I thank you for supporting me. I make garments for both male and female. I love my business. I serve the people of our community well. I thank you for ensuring that I lack nothing. Now, guys and gals, they don't have anything. They don't have anything. But they are wealthy in their minds because they have a roof, they have a bed, they have a uniform, and they have 2 meals a day. They say, she says, Eliza says to Gary and I, because of you, I lack nothing. As that'll make you humble right there. It just changes you. Because, see, she blessed me. I will continue to serve the people of this community well. How many of our kids would stand up and say, I look forward to serving you? How many? Really? Anyway, I could go on, but the neat thing about it is they always say they pray for your family. You go, yeah. But they pray for us.
They do.
They pray for us.
Yeah.
They're praying for us. And we have so much in America. And they have so little, very little, almost nothing. And yet they're praying for us. Thank you.
You know, they say, I lack nothing, but maybe I lack a new iPhone. Because, you know, when it's very hard for our kids to say, I lack nothing, and you have given them almost everything. These kids get the basic, and they write, I lack nothing. They appreciate you. And what's next there? So Gary. So after we go, and I was talking to your pastor, Lisa, today, and all what we want to do is one of these days for the Church of the Open Door, just the way you guys, all this work we are showing, you are involved in that. The change in the girls, you are part of it because she took over and many people have sponsored. So that's what you guys, not just what Fishers of Men is doing, it is what you are doing. That's the work we are showing you, the work of the Church of the Open Door, what you are involved. All those children, look at every picture, the videos that we saw. That's what you are doing. That's what the church is involved in. You are changing lives. You are taking, kids from the streets and, bringing them to be fed, to be educated, to be loved, and all that. And you know what? When Jesus comes, when you meet Jesus, you'll be told, well done, my son or my daughter, for the great work that you did. Because you might not go, but you are sending missionaries, you are sending your money and all that. That, what we do is real. I'm going to Kenya next Saturday, just to continue doing all this again, as we go. And we are going with children from Davenport West High School. The kids, they're going there to do water purification, to purify water. They have been learning about it at the school. They are going there to purify a whole village to have water from those kids. Another kid, 13-year-old, is going to be teaching how to play the violin. And we, in Davenport, West Music, they donated 16 violins for us to take to Kenya. So they are going to be taught music. And those are kids who have come from the village, from nothing. They grew up like me. I got my first pair of shoes when I was 17 years old. Running to school without food every day. These children, they lack nothing because they have the food. So I was telling Pastor that, and we agreed that we are going to look for a time that the Church of the Open Door can take a mission trip. I will not add other people. We put a mission trip, the people from this church, to go to see the work, to go to visit with the kids, to go to see all those girls, and be able to go and see what the alive kids, what they have done. To see the basketball, the bunnies and all that, just to go there and be able to see it. So at the end of every trip, we take a day to go and see what you guys call safari. And Gary, can you tell us about the safari?
We'll start with that elephant picture. We were pulling out of the safari camp like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was just turning daylight. So I was telling them, boy, I sure hope I see a bull elephant on this trip. So we came out of the gate from there, and we went 100 yards, and wow, there was the biggest pile of poo-poo in the middle of the road that you've ever seen. So then we went another 100 yards, and there was another big pile of poo-poo. And then we agreed, well, if we're seeing poo-poo, there's got to be an elephant here. So we ran around the corner, and there was a big bull elephant. I don't think we have video of that, do we?
I did not bring the video.
Okay.
The video that we have just for the
Okay.
the ones that were going circle.
Yeah.
Can you play that?
This is two giraffes, and they come extremely close to us. And the gold colored one is the female, and the black one is the male. And everywhere the female goes, the male goes. So he is courting her.
Close as you're going to see them.
That's as close as
Amazing.
They came very, very close to us.
Yeah, they can. And also, I think we are not going to see the lions. We saw lions. We saw all the other animals. We went and saw, just very close, lions very close to you. They are not caged. Those are elephants in the middle. And, so that's what we finish with, just going to see, just to enjoy and rest and be able to before we come back. So that's what the team, when we go here, expect at the end, we will all go, take a small flight, like 40 minutes, and then you land. When you land, it's just you see the animals and all that ready, so that you can. It's good to enjoy. After you work for the Lord, you go to see the orphans, you do construction. Then that at the end you do that. What's next? What's next to that? Yeah, and that's the lion that I will see. For the first time, we got to Kenya with mission teams, but we don't see rhinos, but we saw them very, very close to us, right there. And then before we came to see that, we crossed the equator, because Kenya is cut into two halves. Say you are now crossing the equator. That's the equator there. So can we go to see what is okay. Now, I think what I want to do is just to, as I close, when I say that in Kenya, I have another hour. So don't start looking for your keys. So as I close, I want just to say that first, Church of the Open Door, you are really a real open door. It is not just a fake door that, you are not opening it. Your hearts are open, just like the name. And you have opened your heart to be able to be used by God to change a lot of lives, orphans, and all those girls, and a lot of other things that are happening in Kenya. And I want to say, for those who are sponsoring, your money is like what Motei said. It is, your money is going to the right place. We don't use that money in anything else. 100% goes to the need. And that's why those kids, you are seeing us building good buildings. The money for the kids, they are fed, they dress good, and they are taken care of. They are educated. We pay the teachers, and also we do all the medical for them. So if you have never supported a child through Fishers of Men Ministries, we are partnering with all of you so that we can be able to bring a change. And when we were there, this team said, saw all those kids who are saying they have sponsors, but at the end they had a group of those who don't have a sponsor yet. And on our table right there, we have all those kids that we have put there. Those are kids that they met, they touched, they took pictures with them, but some of them, they've been there for almost 7 years without having a sponsor. And I want to ask the church, if you are still wondering if the Lord is leading you to partner with Fishers of Men Ministries, please do so. Stop there to see us. Stop there so that you can ask all the questions, and we will be able to give you a child. You can sponsor, and you go with a packet today saying, "This is my child." You write to that child. They the sponsors just wrote all the cards. We communicate in August and Christmas, and the package just I saw that it arrived in Kenya, ready to go to the children. So if you have never sponsored a child, please come and talk to us, and so that we can be able to have all the children that are there. We have connected this church to the eastern side of Kenya so that we can have all the children sponsored in one place. So I want to appreciate the church and say thank you very much for having us come and be able to present, especially to show you how much and about this. To sponsor a child is $50, and then if you add another $10, you are sponsoring a teacher, because people ask, how do you pay your teachers? But if you're asking just sponsorship, you'll be taking that money to pay a teacher. We ask for another $10, $60 you're paid for one, we put like 10 people, that's, $100, and we can be able to pay a teacher. So that's the sponsorship. The girls that we have already are all sponsored. The vocational training girls that we got the new class is all sponsored for this year. Next year in January we'll have more, but right now God gave us all the sponsors. And so you can partner, and if your company or your organization wants even to be involved in water wells, you have seen that we have over 20 water wells that we have done. You can be able to give a gift. We are 501c3, and we are tax exempt. So at the end of the year, you'll get a receipt that you can claim for your taxes. And so again, thank you very much for giving us ample time today that we can be able to tell you, or to be able to talk about all what God is doing. Thank you.
Can I do the? Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Joshua, for just coming and sharing your heart. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Pastor Joshua is going in next week, 2 weeks. Next week, he's going to Kenya to be with those teachers and those students. And so I want us to pray for him. If you are able, physically able, and you're a sponsor, I've never done this before, and I hope it's okay with you, will you just come on stage with us? Because we're going to lay hands on Pastor Joshua, and we're going to pray for him. The word says this. Yes, Josiah. Kathleen, come on. The word says this, that pure and undefiled religion is this, that you care for the widows and the orphans. And your family has done this over the years. I heard you a minute ago, I think, if I understood correctly, 2 things I wanted to point out. One, you said you're taking a 10-year-old who's going to teach the students violins. A 10-year-old, y'all. Like, that's amazing. Think of how that young life is going to be changed forever. And I also heard you say you have students that have been there for 7 years, not sponsored. Okay, do you hear the integrity of that? That their school would have students when there aren't any sponsors. There's a cost to that, right? And so I love takes care of those kids.
What it comes to do, but it's better for it just sending, keeping a child there and instead of taking them home,
Right.
sending them to Guam.
Right. So I just want you, church family, to hear their heart and see the integrity of the ministry that's there.
Thank you for tuning in this morning. We hope that you'll join us again next week, or better yet, join us in person. We are located at 816 13th Avenue North in Clinton, Iowa. Our Sunday morning worship service is at 8:30 and 10:30 a.m. If you have any questions about our church or what it means to follow Christ, check us out online at cotod.church. That's COTOD.church. We look forward to hearing from you soon.